Hello everybody, welcome to round number 1 of the Formula Racing League Masters of LMU Championship. We are going to be racing in the hypercars, BMW number 59. Oh, technically number 15 livery, but we're going to be racing under the number 59 car. As we get ready for qualifying here, there was a car stop there, don't know why, but it's going to be a pretty decent race, going to be a pretty decent round. A lot of fast guys on this track, so our goal is pretty much just to finish the race. Here we go then for qualifying attempt number 1, and let's just talk you through this lap time through turn 1. Fairly decent, not really much to say into turn 2. Again, there's not really much of a benchmark using all the curb in turn 3 though. Definitely didn't need to use that much curb, and then on the runoff, bit moderate. Straightaway, not much to say about it straight away, it's going to just go straight into turn 5. That's a corner that I kind of struggle with quite a bit. Always braking a bit early and then turning it too early, getting onto the curb too much. But nevertheless, relatively decent corner, good for racing. This corner we get wrong I get wrong quite a few times in the race and in qualifying as well. So it's definitely a difficult corner to look out for. This bit, sketchy, not too bad. Bit bumpy, but it's relatively easy, not an overtaking spot I'd say. This is probably the best bit for qualifying. Into this bit, using literally all the track, you can get all wheels over the line there. Same with this corner in Le Mans, easily getting all the wheels over the curb. No track on this, and then beam it to the last corner, down the straight. This is the pit straight in Le Mans Ultimate, because this is the wet layout, not the same layout that I'm racing and in the race on. Into Sunset then, bit of sliding into the corner, missing apex by a mile. Ah, that's annoying. Messed up the last corner. Later on in lap 3, we got a bit of traffic up ahead, that's a Peugeot, and at this point I'm pretty much focused on the traffic, so at least this moment. Ah, god damn it. So that track cut is meaning that we have lost that lap. That lap will not count, it is invalid. And on top of that we lost time anyway, so even if it was valid, it still wouldn't really matter. Into the next lap, and there's a Cadillac going off there, the Peugeot locks up all front tyres, and now we've got a bit of traffic. There's an Aston Martin going relatively slowly, messing up turn 4, and now he's in the way, and there's another Aston Martin, so he can't move out of the way immediately, but he does manage to get out of the way later on, and we just zoom past and don't really lose much time. And you can see just how different the braking zones and the speed are that the Aston Martin carries through. It's just so much different to what I was able to carry through. Now, we're 4 times up. This is a pretty good lap. This would be bang on if I manage to complete this and we do that. Ah, no, come on. Yeah, this is the problem with these cars. They suck on the brakes. The brakes suck. So that was decent. We are, where are we? We're 3.1 off the pace. That is depressing, but it's not last. Top half of the grid. That's all I'm happy about. If it's top half of the grid, I'm happy. So here we go then for qualifying attempt number 2. We drop down to P15 now. There's a lot more faster cars are getting the laps in, getting to grips with the cars. We are just under halfway through qualifying, and that was a pretty good first corner. A bit twitchy on the brakes there into turn 2, and using a lot more curb than we did last time. Kind of slowed us down, to be honest. As you can see on the Della, we just lost so much time. On the exit, we gained so much time, and I just blew straight into the mic there. I did not mean to do that. And so that was definitely, in my opinion, a bit more of a timid lap. Wasn't pushing as much as I could have. Nevertheless, it is a pretty decent lap. We're yellow in the first sector. Bit twitchy coming into this section here. almost did what we did last time, yet somehow managed to save it that time. Got the car to rotate nicely into this section here, into this corner, using the exit curb to kind of rotate the car there. And it worked really. I did not expect that to work as well as it did. These cars just rotate so well, it's so nice. And we gained about 4 attempts on this lap, using all the curb here a lot more aggressive than last time. And to be honest, that didn't really help. Again here, a lot more aggressive into the corner, but out of the corner we just lose that time. So 4 attempts down the drain because of how aggressive I was going through that section. But coming into sunset at the final corner, braking a bit earlier, losing a bit of time there, getting on the throttle right about here, managing to keep the car pointed in nicely, but scoring me out of the corner, and is 2 attempts up. And we'll move up a place, but we did drop a place during that lap. So it's a 481 for us. On to the next attempt that was going to use that lap after for a cooldown lap. This next lap though, we're right behind P4, that's Johannes Priest. One of the faster drivers on the grid, he absolutely smacks a win there. Go for probably one of the bigger attempts, but car washes it a bit and we come on, it's driving the track. Okay, well I don't think I'm gonna be able to hook up a better lap than that, so I was faster in practice. Okay, so this is definitely going to be chaos on the first lap. I'm half expecting to die, but we will. It's starting P18 now. Ended up not going for a lap because I literally couldn't. Yeah, I just couldn't get a complete lap in. So that's reassuring. Anyways, this is going to be absolute chaos. Got a Toyota next. That's the flower livery. The was it Fuji they used that? That's a yellow Aston Martin. Okay, so after I decided to point out the obvious on that Aston Martin, here we go then for the race. 1 hour and 20 minutes, 44 laps, I'd say, 44, 45. Starting P18 did drop down a bit after qualifying, couldn't get a lap in, but that doesn't really matter. We're starting midfield, kind of, pretty much midfield, low, end of the midfield. So, here we go then. I'm just going to shut up and let the first lap play out. So what happened there is basically one of the Aston Martins ahead glitched out, disappeared, none of us could see him, and when he reappeared he was mid-spin, and that caused us to get front end damage from the Peugeot hitting the brakes so abruptly. We did kind of lose a place because of that, so Craig Hill ahead in the yellow and blue Aston Martin that we were pointing out earlier is ahead of us now as we come to the end of lap 1. And then skipping forward a bit into lap 2, still right behind the Aston Martin. Peugeot has a bit of a lock up. The Aston Martin goes wide. I tried to go for the cut back, but he just got a better exit. A lot better around the outside, bit of a slingshot. And now all of us are diving into turn 1, braking a bit earlier, because I couldn't really see where my braking point was, and just up ahead the Ferrari goes a bit wide. That causes the Peugeot to go a bit wide, and then the Aston Martin slips through. We're just going to follow him through. Alfonso losing 2 places there. We move nicely right ahead of him, and still glued on basically to this Aston Martin. A bit further up, Aston Martin locks the rears, and then the Ferrari spins out as well. So we have to cut the corner in a win action, and then the two behind us, the Aston Martin and the other Aston Martin and the Peugeot, go side by side. The Peugeot does get a better run, and he actually gets a better run than us. So he's coming up at full speed, although he does brake a bit early to avoid the overtake. Bit of a smart decision to avoid a crash, I'd say. Definitely fair play on him. Later on, lap 4, car spun out. That's Toyota, the first Toyota that we've seen spin out, apart from lap 1. Next, literally a few laps later, another Toyota spun out at turn 2. And then into lap number 9, coming to turn 1, there's a Cadillac spun out, and then, spoiler alert, another Toyota. So after that fiasco of the first 8 laps, it's currently P18 up to P10. A lovely 8 places gained over the course of those 9 laps. 44 more to go. And you can see it up ahead. The gap between myself and Gallo did only decrease by about 2 to 3 seconds. But the car up ahead, Modan, we are catching him relatively quickly. That is because I'm pretty sure he had damage, so he came into the pits early. There he is coming into the pits, so we gain a free place there. Up in P9 on lap 14. Not too bad, not too bad. 55 minutes to go, and we got about 23 minutes of fuel left. Much later on in the race, just about half an hour, 3 seconds behind Gallo, then 7 seconds behind Malvone, who got a stop go because he ran out of energy really early, but we're coming into the pit lane, lap 26. Here we go then, first and only pit stop of the race. We have 4% energy left, Gallo had 2%, and we're only going to take rear tyres. And the reason we're taking rear tyres is because of the oversteer. We don't really care about the understeer, that's manageable, but I'm going to show up and let past me do the talking for the pit stop. Alright, pit stop time. Let's see how this goes. Gallo's just behind us there, he's also pitting. And we got Malvone, or just ahead of us. He's definitely going to get out first. And yeah, both of them are actually going to get out first. So we've taken tyres, so we're going to have a massive handicap. But we're only taking rear tyres, so see how that goes. So after our pit stop, it is not really much of a position change. We have gone from P10 to P10, so not really much of a difference there. Still 8 places gained, still the same spot as we were when we came into the pits, but we are going to gain a place next lap since Rogers is on 3%. He's only 4 seconds ahead of us, but nevertheless, that's the first pit stop done. We're going to have to manage the front tyres, but the rear tyres, we don't have to worry about them anymore. Those are perfectly fine. Hopefully we don't have to worry about understeer. A bit later on, 2 laps later, you can see the gap there to Gallo is just over 8 seconds, and then the gap behind is 30 seconds to P10. So we are pretty much all alone on track right now, which means it's going to get very boring. If you look on the map, there's literally no one near us, apart from the race leader that is coming up soon. So it's a really boring race, really boring stint for the next sort of 10 minutes or so. So what we're going to do, we're going to time it by 20 times speed, and let's get the next bit. about 9 minutes later, we're interrupted with her lovely alone time by a back marker. That is Modan just behind us, much faster than us at the moment. He's probably on fresher tyres. In fact, no, he pitted earlier, so he's not on fresher tyres, but he is faster, so that is something to look out for. He is currently 7 tenths just behind us. A bit later on in the lap, that goes down to about 3 tenths as he's right behind us, and because I'm focusing on him too much, miss the corner and let him by pretty easily. Send the back out, not to fight the back marker, since there's no reason to battle a back marker. That's just going to cause us to lose more time. A bit later on, you can see the leaders Vesely and Sapler, sorry if I mispronounced that, are right behind me, just about under a second. So coming into the next section here, the section where we seem to struggle with, pull over to the side and simply let the leaders by. No reason to hold them up at all. My initial plan was to follow up, but after about 4 corners-ish, I realised that is not an achievable goal, so I'm just going to let them drive off. No reason to even attempt to chase them down. A bit later on in the race, lap 42 of 44, and Modan is behind us again. He had a bit of a spin earlier on, and you can see just how much quicker he is coming out the corners there. Just let off the throttle a bit, let him pass. He's going to pass me eventually, so might as well just let him push through. And yeah, easy as that. Did lose a bit of time, but we are currently 4 seconds behind the Gallo, so that's not too bad. In risk a bit of time loss. And I say that even though there is a minute 20 seconds to go, and next lap is pretty much the last lap. Speaking of which, here's the last lap. Gap is 3.5 seconds to Gallo in P7. We do have 2 cars between us now, so that's going to make things difficult. Ellinger and Modan in between both of us, and Gallo is continually leading the train that we are chasing down. The gap is coming down relatively fast. It is now 2 seconds, or just over 2 seconds. It's pretty much full push now to chase down P7. For the debut, this result would be immense, as Gallo actually does let a few people by. The gap is now 1.5 seconds, and it is dropping significantly. But you can see at the top with Vesely has finished the race, so it's pretty much now or never to push. And unfortunately the gap is too big to even consider an overtake. There he is up ahead, bit of smoke kicking up from tire logs, but he is just a bit out of reach. Ah, we almost got it. Almost got it. That is really upsetting how close that was though. Oh my word, that was honestly the closest. Like, I don't understand how close it was, but it was pretty close. And I'm absolutely knackered. What a race. P8 though. After starting 18th, 10 places gained. That's pretty good. A lot of DNS. But that is that, yeah. That was exciting. That's the longest race I've ever done on this sim, by far. Like that was unreal. And my hands are sharp. My hands are dead. They are gone. But I think that'll do then for tonight. That was a pretty good race. Yeah, good result. First race of the season. Can't really say much. So on to the next one. On to Fuji next week.